Gadget Martian here in front of the new Microcenter computer store here in Santa Clara, California, the grand opening weekend. Let's go in and check it out. So here we are entering the store. This is the first Microcenter store that I've been to in a while. There was a small one in Santa Clara in the Mercado Center, but this was kind of years ago when Fry's Electronics was still around. So when I first entered, it actually looks a lot smaller from the outside than it really is when you walk in. So when you enter the facility, you just kind of get this big store feeling. And then of course the first thing is, because of the last type of store I've been like this, like a Fry's Electronics, you kind of want to feel to see, okay, does it kind of feel like a Fry's Electronics, or does it feel like a Best Buy or any of the other regular stores that are around? And I noticed right away that it had that Fry's Electronics warehouse type style, where there's rows and rows of just items that you don't even know that you need until you actually see them and say, hey, you know what, this is pretty good. And then of course, you know, nowadays with the 3D printing, it was really cool that they have pretty much every available 3D printer out there. So many different varieties, and they've actually come down in price and they've gotten so much more sophisticated. So it's kind of cool that they actually have them here on display for you to see, along with the accessories. But just walking around, now in this case, you know, it was a grand opening, so it's pretty busy. But as you can see, they just have so many different items to, you know, beginning with to like build your own computer. And a lot of superstores and a lot of stores nowadays do not have all of the available components to really build a computer from the ground up. And this is something that, you know, I grew up being around Fry's Electronics, I kind of took for granted. So it's really refreshing to know that there is actually a store now that's open in the Bay Area that gives you the ability. Now, a lot of people, of course, have gotten used to just ordering stuff on Amazon, which is really good. You have all the variety. Before, in the past, you did not have this variety in a regular store, so Amazon kind of took over, because then you get the best of the best or the worst of the worst or anything in between. So it's just really refreshing to see that there's every single type of component, whether it be fans, whether it be power supplies, whether it be motherboards, anything that you need to build your computer. And it just doesn't stop at just building a computer. You actually have so many other items. Going down these aisles, you just kind of see, hey, look, there's hard drives that maybe I couldn't have saw like on Amazon, or I didn't notice, or I didn't even know what to look for. So you have it here. You know, you have somebody in the store that maybe is someone competent to answer any questions. You have gaming accessories, headsets. You have GoPro, and not only do you have GoPro, because you can easily go online and order GoPro or go to a Costco, but you have all the accessories. So it's nice to have the available resources and components all at one store. Whether you want watches, whether you want tablets, whether you want phones, even if you're looking for some type of lights, disco lights or performance lights and stuff, if you're doing like karaoke, or if you're a business and you're having video conferencing and you want to have that type of capability, it's certainly available at one place. And in the Bay Area, we kind of miss this. I'm sure there's a lot of communities that miss the big store electronic stores, not just like the Costco's that have a very small selection of available electronics, but just going row to row, you could just notice just the immensity and the variety that they have. And they just don't have one option for each item. You have rows and rows of components, wires, everything that you might want to find, and everything that you did not know to even think about in this type of store. You also have all of your modern stuff. There's a big area that just has Wi-Fi's, routers. If you could just see by the video here, it's just a lot bigger inside than what it looks like outside. So, you know, my expectations were maybe they would have a little bit bigger variety than Best Buy, but as you can see here, you just go down this row and there's just HP, there's Dell, there's MSI. So you have a variety of brands that you would not normally see in a Walmart or a Target or a Costco. And as far as TVs, if you want TVs, you have certainly a lot of options in TVs. One of the not so good situations back when I did that video about Fry's Electronics closing, in the end, they had a couple of no-name brands you never heard of TVs. Did not have Samsung, they did not have Sony, they did not have all of these brands nowadays, Vizio, that, you know, we've kind of grown accustomed with. So it's really refreshing to know and assuring to know that you can kind of just come here. If you decide to buy someplace else, at least you get the idea, and you just at least get to see and touch and feel the items in here. Now, I haven't really compared the price of a Microcenter item to something like online. I know it's very competitive online, and that's why it's kind of taken these type of stores out of business, just because of the square footage and the overhead costs having all of this in one store. But as you can see, if you want to, you know, hands-on with the latest Apple product, hands-on with the latest video recorder, hands-on with everything in between, all the type of stuff, you know, webcams, microphones to do webcasts or videos such as this one, you know, all at your fingertips to where you can actually have it that day instead of having to worry about ordering it and then, you know, trying it out and stuff. Now, it was kind of crazy how difficult it was to get around here, because every row that you went down, look at how big the line was. The line was like this large snake just going through the whole store. And so if I was going to actually buy something this weekend, it would have been a difficult task, because you probably have to wait hours in line. As you can see here, there's just so many different ink cartridges, just any ink cartridge that you might want, and just so many people going into the store purchasing. Now, I know they had some deals here, grand opening deals, but I'm sure the majority of what people are getting here aren't like extraordinary deals that you can't wait for. It was also pretty interesting because you can actually buy all the components needing to build your own little race car at home, your little simulator. So it was nice that the square footage is here, and then of course all of your options for VR, all of your options for steering wheels, all of your options for drones. Drones are very popular. So you just see that this is all just available here. And the checkout line is kind of similar to a Best Buy. I wouldn't say it's similar to a Fry's, more or less like a Best Buy. I don't anticipate this many people after the grand opening weekend. So it might be a little easier to walk around and to get around. But overall, this is an awesome experience. Trying to find a quiet part of the store here to talk, just because pretty much this is the only row that doesn't have anybody in it. Everything else is just kind of bumper to bumper, elbow to elbow. But this is kind of similar to Fry's Electronics, probably a little bit larger than Best Buy. Also a lot more different components that you can get here that you can't get from a Best Buy. So it's actually pretty good. It's kind of brings back Fry's meets Best Buy meets Central Computers. So it's actually overall a good experience, but the lines are so big that the only thing I'm gonna leave with today is the complimentary mug that they give for the grand openings. But all in all, it's a good place to go just to get pretty much everything. All this kind of stuff you can get nowadays on Amazon, but you can't touch and feel it. So what's good about this place is you don't have to go to Amazon. You can actually grab something and buy it. I'd probably be interested in what the price comparison is. Somebody has to pay for this, all this overhead, so that's probably, you're not going to get the same prices as Best Buy. Overall, it's a really good place. Thank you for watching this video. As always, please like and subscribe to this channel. Gadget Martian signing out. Peace. Have a good day.